crypto bull market is supposed to start in 2024, or at least that's what everyone's been saying. Just 10 days ago, I told you to buy Solana, I told you to buy Gala, and we've already seen over 100% gains from those altcoins. So what is it that's driving this insane crypto pump towards the upside? Is it going to be sustainable? Are we just getting faked out? Or could we be leaving all of those bears and haters standing licking their wounds as everyone else collects incredible gains into the future? Let's dive into it, guys, and look at all of the reasons behind why this pump has come about and whether or not they're enough to see it continue into the future. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like button, and if you missed out on those gains from Solana and Gala, make sure you hit that subscribe as well. And if you look through the data and all of the news events over the past 6 to 7 days, you'll probably start to gain an understanding as to why Bitcoin have a rally of around 27%, driving the altcoins insane and potentially setting us up for a phenomenal start of 2023. This came about last Wednesday when we saw Bitcoin short squeeze, creating a $93 million short liquidation. And basically what that means is a huge number of people started to bet the market going towards the downside. So they started to bet against the market, going in for huge short positions. This meant that there was then an imbalance, and a move in the opposite direction would trigger what's called a short squeeze. This is the Bitcoin chart back on the 1st of January. Now, if you've been subscribed to this channel, I'll tell people over and over again that when the majority of people on YouTube comments or in my Telegram group, link down below, or anything like that, are telling you that it's going to go in one direction because they're looking to buy cheaper, or they're going short because they're expecting Bitcoin to go to 10K. Typically, the majority of people are always wrong. And we see that on the flip side at the top of bull markets when people are betting for it to go higher, and then typically most people are wrong. Now, when we had this consolidation through here with very, very little movement, eventually what people were thinking is that, yeah, we were going to run out of steam and it was going to continue lower. So everyone dives in to short the market. So for example, maybe they're going to go short here and they're expecting Bitcoin to go much lower down here. And then their stop loss sits maybe just above these highs here. And you can actually see this happen on the chart, guys. Basically, they'll go into a negative and eventually their short position will get changed from a sell order into a buy order when they get stopped out. And notice as it clears this high, it starts to accelerate. And as it clears this next high here, we have an absolute surge towards the upside, which goes in hand with the break beyond this line as well, because everyone's going short and they were all wrong. And they had losses totaling $90 million, which is what's caused an accelerated move towards the upside. But it's what caused that short squeeze that is of interest to us. When the market's not really moving very much and some piece of news, one direction or the other, comes out, it will tend to move a market very aggressively because loads of orders over that time have been stacked up in buy positions and sell orders as well. So a move in one direction will tend to trigger a snowball effect. The Daily Hodl anticipated this back on the 8th of January as they noticed the number of short positions coming in and other rumors circulating the markets. So what were those rumors about? Now, as you know, FTX, under the leadership of disgraced Sam Bankman-Fried, has been under the management of a restructuring team since back in November when it initially went under. But this FTX restructuring team has suddenly found $5 billion, and because someone has somehow managed to misplace $5 billion, as you do. This then meant that the original FTX token, which obviously got destroyed during the FTX downfall, has now suddenly become worth something again. And what we saw is a 40% spike in the FTT price, dragging up all crypto assets. And that is what caused this short squeeze to come about. We then saw the short squeeze building again. People then get excited, come running back in and chuck all their money into the market, which accelerates it even further. Another piece to the puzzle comes from El Salvador, who we know have been very pro-Bitcoin for a while. They passed a key piece of huge legislation last week, making way for Bitcoin volcano bonds. Bonds are basically created by governments in order to raise capital. And this shows that the country of El Salvador is placing even more trust in Bitcoin and the potential that it holds. As you can see, none of these one things could potentially move a crypto market on their own, but they all have come at a very similar time, which is interesting to see. The same as when you get negative news in a market, it tends to all arrive at the same time and cause markets to come crashing down. We've now seen a bit of a flip in the overall sentiment in the market. Another huge thing that could potentially potentially have had a bit of an impact on the overall crypto market. And you may have seen more recently Ethereum leading the charge over Bitcoin, as well as other altcoins leading a bit of a charge over Bitcoin, which is kind of surprising to see because traditionally we always saw Bitcoin leading the charge and then having an ongoing alt season after that. But Ethereum is due to undergo a hard fork or a huge upgrade called the Shanghai hard fork that's happening in March. And something very key is going to happen during that time. Many people over the last few years have been staking Ethereum in order to support the project through its upgrade process. That meant that you would need a minimum of 32 Ethereum in order to stake them and then earn rewards passively through that. In March, when the upgrade comes about, those wallets are then going to be released. And if this all comes off smoothly, which is very much anticipated, then potentially you can see that there's going to be a huge amount of interest from banks, from other large-scale investors. But obviously beware, people are now going to get a huge amount of Ethereum released back to them, then maybe there will also be some selling pressure coming in, so we have to pay attention to that as well. Now, if all of this news was not enough to get the ball rolling with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, well, there's pretty much one thing that's been deciding how crypto markets have moved over the last 12 to 13 months. And a lot of the downside pain and action that we've been seeing has come about because of a really strong United States dollar. This is shown here in the DXY or US dollar index. As we saw this huge surge towards the upside, we saw crypto falling towards the downside. And we did see a bit of a rally coming in crypto before the FTX drama that forced it lower. And if we hadn't had that FTX drama, you would have expected Bitcoin and Ethereum to have held their value at around $20,000. What we can now see though is the DXY sliding towards the downside, and having broken this key area of support is now surging even further, and we could expect a further push lower. So what was it that caused this surge towards the upside? And now what is causing this sell-off towards the downside? Well, back on Thursday, the US Federal Reserve released data on inflation and interest rates. And every month over the last year or so, we've seen a huge reaction from crypto. There's been a huge inflation problem, as I'm sure you're aware, because of coronavirus and other problems that are going on in the markets. That's basically printing more money, which makes life much more expensive for everyone because they can't afford to buy things they used to be able to buy with the same amount of money. That makes day-to-day living and buying standard groceries as well as paying for rent and things much more difficult for people. Inflation therefore is a huge problem, and in order to curb this, they have then had to implement huge interest rate hikes. Interest rates then make it very expensive to borrow money, and therefore borrowing money to invest in something like crypto or stocks and shares has become very, very difficult, which is a good reason that lots of money then get taken out of crypto and the stock market. However, the US dollar interest rate being very high meant that having your money in US dollars suddenly became a bit more appealing. Therefore, most of the countries around the world, Australia, Japan, the United Kingdom, have moved their currency and changed it into US dollars to ensure that they don't lose value on their own currency. What that then does is drives down the currency value of their own currencies and drives up the US dollar further. If you look at any chart where we have Bitcoin versus the US dollar, if the US dollar is going up, then typically you'll see Bitcoin fall against it. So now we understand inflation and interest rates and how it might have been affecting everything. So what was it that happened last Thursday that caused a big shift in this? Well, Jerome Powell made an announcement that the work to decrease the amount of inflation by increasing interest rates seemed to be working. Therefore, inflation was going down and interest rates also going down. So all of the things that were driving the dollar higher and higher are now starting to get taken away again. And this is huge because that means that now Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the crypto market that has been struggling to survive for so long can now start to move back. Let investors and people start to feel more positive about these assets going forward. We know that they're probably quite undervalued right now, and there is a huge opportunity going forward. Well, what does that mean for us as investors? Well, guys, you need to be very cautious. I'm not saying go and throw all your money into crypto. I wouldn't dream of giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you that right now, I'm just telling you what the catalysts were for the growth in the market that we've seen more recently. The FTX drama should serve as an example to us because that came out of absolutely nowhere and took us all by surprise. Billions of dollars worth of investment in just a few hours. It tells us that we should always be cautious. There's a lot of companies more recently that have just crypto.com, Huobi, who are all struggling to keep on staff and are also struggling to keep their heads above the water. Will we see a further capitulation towards the downside? Is the bear market over, or is the bull market just getting started? And all those naysayers are going to get left telling you that the bull market hasn't started and ride us all the way back up to $70,000 Bitcoin and beyond. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Are we starting the bull market early, or is this just another bull trap on a trip towards the dark, deep depths of cryptocurrency? If you're looking to get involved in trading, or you want to learn more about different altcoins, or to become part of a crypto community, then make sure you get in my Telegram, which is linked down below, absolutely free. There's going to be various other giveaways and things happening in that group shortly. As well as that, if you are looking to day trade and make the best of this opportunity, we've had someone in the Telegram community who's just turned $100 into $11,000 in the space of a week, which if you want to trade, then get across to Fairdesk. It's got some incredible deals on at the moment. There's huge bonuses for signing up. And as well, there's an opportunity to do copy trading, where you can copy traders like this guy who's won every trade he's taken for the last few months. Just insane. And some of the guys following him have been making thousands and thousands of dollars with just a few clicks of the button. You can go and follow this person and make a passive income in crypto at the bottom of a bear market. Who knows what potentially those gains will grow into as the bull market opens up and unleashes its full glory on us all. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video today. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend wherever you are in the world. Hit that like button for me, hit subscribe, join my Telegram group, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.